Hey loves, welcome back. Today we're going to be testing out the brand new Huda Beauty Easy Blur Natural Airbrush Foundation. Very excited about this because I'm a really big fan of Huda Beauty's Faux Filter Stick Foundation. This is so beautiful and I'm curious to see how this compares, but we're going to try it out today, do a full day wear test. I'm also going to try it tomorrow, so we're doing a 2-day wear test today. So grab a stack, get cozy, and let's get into it. So I'm going to keep the skin prep very minimal today. I just reapplied some moisturizer about 30 minutes ago. I used the Honest Beauty Hydrogel Cream. I'm going to try this out with no primer or anything first so we can kind of just see the foundation for what it is. And then tomorrow when I retest it, I'll see what primer maybe would work best with this. So first starters, I love the packaging. It's nice and simple. And this retails for $37, which I think is actually a really decent price point for a product at Sephora. High-end makeup under 40 bucks, sign me up. So it does say to shake it. And by the way, I got the color Latte 300N, which is the same shade that I'm in currently in the Faux Filter Stick Foundation. So I'm going to pop some claims right now with the foundation. It says it's weightless, real-life filter foundation that's ultra blurring, smoothing for an airbrushed finish, medium to buildable coverage for foolproof, seamless, easy application. There's also 1.5% skin smoothing niacinamide and pore blurring silica for the most natural airbrush finish. It also says it's fragrance and alcohol free, non-comedogenic, and lightweight and melts on skin. Oh, I forgot to wet my sponge. I've been trying to show you guys like one side with the brush, one side with the sponge, but I'm not really a sponge girly, to be honest. I mean, I'll use it, but I just prefer a brush these days. But let's see how this looks. Ooh, wait, I don't know if this color is gonna match. I actually got another shade. Let's swatch it. So this is 300 and Latte, which I do think maybe might be a touch too light for my body, but I think it'll match my face. The other color I picked up is Tres Leches 320G. So let's swatch that one as well. It feels actually not as thick as I thought, the foundation. It actually feels pretty runny. So here we have, I applied way too much. This one is 300N, and then this one is 320 Tres Leches. Actually kind of gearing more towards 320. I think it matches the rest of my body a little bit better. So let's try 320. All right, we're gonna go with Tres Leches, 320G. Hopefully it's not too golden, but we'll see. Ooh, it actually, I think, works really well. Oh, I think I like that color better. Okay, so let's blend this in. I'm gonna use a Real Techniques 239 brush. Ooh, that's pretty. I see a little bit of that luminosity, but it's very light. It's not too much from the niacinamide. Definitely gives a little bit of radiance to the skin. That does look really smooth and blurring. Ooh, I like this color too. I'm glad I picked this up. I feel like 300N would actually is going to be a little bit too light for me at the moment, but it's probably going to end up working next month once my tan is completely faded. I'm gonna apply the foundation with a brush because, like I said, I'm just a brush gal. I just think it gives a smoother, better coverage look, and that's personally what I like. But of course with the sponge, it's always gonna shear it out because it's gonna absorb more of your product, so that is always an option. Let's cover this little scar up right here. I'm loving the way it blends. I think it has a really nice consistency. It's not too thick, it's not too runny, it's giving coverage. Definitely is smooth, and that's why I love the Faux Filter Stick Foundation so much. I get compliments when I wear this foundation because of how smooth it looks on the skin. It's like your skin but airbrushed and flawless, and this kind of gives that effect, but it's a little bit more hydrating than the stick foundation. The stick foundation is a bit more on the matte side, but it's still super creamy. This looks beautiful. I love how it kind of gives pretty much, in my opinion, the perfect amount of hydration without the foundation feeling too wet on the skin. I really like the packaging too. It kind of reminds me of like the Fenty Beauty Skin Tint, which I love that because it's just really easy and very travel friendly. I'm loving this color as well. I like the consistency. I like the coverage. I'm just loving it. I feel like it also does look very airbrushed, just like the claims say. And that's like with no primer or anything. Ooh, yeah, this looks really, really good. I'm gonna let this sit for a couple minutes just to see how the dry down is on it. I'm always gonna recommend setting your creams with a powder, but let's see if there is any type of dry down with the foundation. It doesn't feel, like I said, overly wet, but there is a little bit of a natural luminosity peeking through, but it feels really comfortable. I think it definitely lives up to the claims. So it's been like 10 minutes. The foundation doesn't seem to have any dry down. There is still that luminosity kind of peeking through, but it looks so porcelain. It's actually a very airbrushed foundation just on its own. I'm excited to put the powders and stuff over top because it looks really good. So yeah, right now, no complaints. I'm happy with it. So let's finish up the rest of the makeup. I'm gonna go in with the LYS bronzer stick. This one is in Courage. I cannot stop using these Rhode blushes. They are also really creamy. I love all the shades. I'm gonna go in with Sleepy Girl today. It's a really pretty mauve shade. So everything's blending really nicely over top of the foundation. It's not lifting anything underneath. It's funny because I was actually expecting the foundation to feel a little bit more matte on the skin, but it's a lot more hydrating than I thought it was going to be. But I love it because I think it's a good amount of hydration to the point where it doesn't feel too heavy on the skin. I cannot get enough of my Haus Labs concealer. This is definitely in my top 5 for high-end concealers. I have this one in 24. Yes, sometimes I use 23 if I want a little bit more of a lighter look, but 24 is nice and neutral. And this is a BK Beauty concealer brush. It's the N14. Now to set, of course, I'm going to use the Cherry Blossom Loose Powder from Huda. And with this foundation, they also did come out with a new primer kind of to go with it. But I'm always a firm believer that if a foundation is good, you can use any of your favorite products with it. You don't have to use like the same brand or something, you know? So I didn't really feel inclined to purchase. It just looks so good, the powder, every single time. I'm telling you, this is like one of the best mattifying powders. It is pretty intense, so if you have really dry under eyes like me, make sure that you're hydrating. I'm gonna do a little bit of whatever is left over on my T-zone just because I love how matte this powder is, and that's where I get the most oily. So I'm gonna do a little extra. Now we're gonna set the rest of the makeup. I'm gonna use, I think today, let's go with Charlotte Tilbury pressed powder, another favorite. And this one is in One Fair. So this foundation is much more hydrating than the stick foundation for sure. That one has a soft matte finish. This one, I would say it's more of a natural kind of satin finish. It's not fully matte, it's not too dewy, but it definitely, with that niacinamide, provides that hydration and a little bit of glow. So the makeup is complete. I'm gonna do some lip swatches off camera. I'm gonna film a short video, so that's why I don't have my lip combo on. I'm also gonna end up adding some glitter to my eyes because I'm also gonna film another short video. But the rest of the makeup is pretty much done. I'm not gonna do any setting spray because I honestly don't even feel like I need it. But I wanna see how the foundation wears just on its own. But wow, it looks really smooth. I definitely think it lives up to all of the claims. I really love the hydration aspect of it, but how it's not too much. And then once you set everything down with a powder, I think it gives a really beautiful, comfortable finish that doesn't feel dry, doesn't feel too matte. It's a very comfortable, to me, kind of feels like a natural satin foundation. I really like the finish of it in the formula, especially with my combo skin, because you get the best of both worlds and it looks really flawless for real. So I'm impressed. I'm gonna wear this all day. I'm probably gonna even get a workout in today. So I'm gonna come back in a few hours and we'll see how everything looks. So it has been a little over 7 hours since I first applied the foundation, and this is what everything looks like. I have not touched up, by the way, at all. I just reapplied my lip combo because we always gotta do the lip combo. I actually got a lot more shiny than I was expecting, but it does have a natural finish. I was looking on Huda Beauty's website and I actually do love the finish of it because I do feel like it could be very universal and you could make it work with any skin type that you have, in my opinion. I have combo skin, so typically the shine that's coming through is pretty much inevitable, especially because, like I said, I didn't touch up at all. So if you have oily skin, you're most likely going to have some shine peeking through. But also, there was very minimal skin prep with this foundation. I just reapplied my moisturizer about 30 minutes before applying the foundation. So this is actually really impressive. For the foundation on its own, definitely has really good lasting power. I also didn't use a setting spray or anything, so I'm actually very pleased with the way that it looks. There's no significant separation or fading. Nothing is clinging. I mean, of course, my pores just look a little bit more emphasized because there is that oil peeking through, but I still think the foundation itself looks really good. This is a very smooth formula. I definitely agree with pretty much all the claims that this foundation has, truly. I mean, it's smooth. The coverage is great. There's some slight fading right above my mouth right here. But I was doing lip swatches earlier, so I had to kind of wipe away each swatch, so maybe that's what that's from. But everything else is pretty much still in place. There's a little bit of separation right in between my brows, but nothing crazy. You know, like, I feel like if I wanted to, I could touch up my makeup and still wear this for the next couple hours, and it would still look really good. So I'm going to try this again tomorrow. I think I'm going to use a mattifying primer right in my T-zone and a mattifying spray, and I think that'll definitely help to tame some of the oils. But I still really like it. I'm going to just use my little puff that I used earlier, just again for a touch-up. This is one of those things where you could kind of touch up your foundation, like I said, and still wear it because nothing has really faded or came off. The blush and all the cheek products are still in place as well. So touching up is going to be necessary, but I still love the finish of the foundation. I'm always just really impressed when a foundation looks really good after several hours with pretty much no skin prep and no setting spray. So that's always a good sign. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Hello, good morning. Let's try the foundation again today. As always, I did my morning skincare at this point about 2 hours ago. It's the afternoon and I'm gonna wear this all day. So today I'm gonna do a primer and I'm gonna go in with the Milk Makeup Pore Eclipse primer. This one is really good if you have oily skin. It's actually one of my favorites because it is pretty intense and it absorbs any excess shine. So definitely gonna apply a pretty generous amount of this because I want to see if it makes a difference with the foundation, because it actually got a lot more shiny on my skin than I was expecting, but I still thought the foundation looked really beautiful though. Like, it's definitely very airbrushed on the skin and it makes your face look porcelain, like truly. So even though it was really shiny yesterday, I was still impressed with the fact that it didn't really budge throughout the day, like at all, with no primer, no setting spray. So that to me is always very impressive with foundations. I mean, of course, primer is always going to help, but if it can wear on its own like that, then it's a good product. I'm going to use the same foundation brush as yesterday, Real Techniques 239. Ooh, that looks really, really good. I mean, look at that difference right there. It's just smooth, really great coverage. I like it a lot. I like how hydrating it is. I'm really hoping the primer will make a difference with the shine, because we know the foundation has good lasting power. So the primer, I think, can only make it look even better throughout the day, hopefully. And even with that mattifying primer underneath, you're still going to get that hydration with the foundation because of that niacinamide, which I do think it's nice because it doesn't make your face look or feel excessively wet as you're blending it in. Like, it's a very comfortable, natural finish foundation. It kind of reminds me a little bit, just based on how it looks and the coverage, of the Soft Glam Satin Foundation from e.l.f. I'm not saying it's a dupe, but it kind of just gives that similar effect because that foundation is also pretty hydrating, but that looks amazing. So let's do the other side now. You really don't even need a lot of this because it is a pretty pigmented foundation. I always like to apply it and then kind of rub it in with my finger before I blend. I feel like it just gives a really smoother, seamless look. Primer seems to be doing well with the foundation also, which is good. I'm going to use the same products as yesterday, so I'm going to just do this off camera really quick, but we're doing OIS Cream Bronzer Stick. Also, I think the powder combo is going to be the same for today. I'm going to do Charlotte Tilbury with the Huda Beauty Cherry Blossom powder. Now, I typically don't really love to use the pink powder all over my face, but whatever, we're doing it today. I just love how mattifying it is. I do have other shades of this powder, but the Cherry Blossom, for some reason, I don't know what it is, but I just love the tone of it. It is kind of pinky though, so we're gonna try to balance some of this out with the Charlotte Tilbury pressed powder. Now we are fully powdered up, looking very matte, but it honestly feels still really comfortable. It doesn't feel too tight or dry, even with that primer and stuff that I used underneath. Makeup is complete, and I have to say it looks even more flawless than yesterday. The extra powder definitely helps. So if you have combo or oily skin, don't be afraid to cake on the makeup sometimes, because sometimes we need a little extra layer to get that really airbrushed finish, and I'm just crossing my fingers that this is gonna wear better today. I also did use the One Size On Till Dawn. I sprayed my entire face with this, so I think we should be good, because this is pretty much hairspray for the face. But I'm gonna check in with you guys later on. I'll also give you a little natural light shot right here so we can see what it looks like. It looks so smooth. I really like the way this foundation sits on the skin though, and I think just even on its own it has really good lasting power, so I'm excited to see how it's gonna look with the extra layers and primer and setting spray today. So I'm gonna come back in a few hours and we'll see how it looks. So it is just after 9 p.m. and I have not touched up. I worked out today, nothing too crazy, but I was sweating. You can see I do have those natural oils peeking through, which I feel like is inevitable with this foundation because it does have that niacinamide in there. So the formula is hydrating and it does have that natural finish. But the primer and setting spray combo I do think made a difference because I don't feel or look as oily as I was yesterday. I could use a touch up, but I don't think it's bad. In between my brows, it looks a little faded because I was using a spoolie to kind of spoolie through my brows today. They were looking a little boxy. It was not a good brow day. Touch up is definitely necessary. There's a lot of oil, there's a lot of shine, but it's not as much I think as it was yesterday. The lasting power is fantastic. Let me just fix this really quick here. I'm just using a little brush to kind of like touch up and absorb any of those oils. But you see, once you do that, like the foundation still goes back to looking absolutely flawless. I really like the formula of this because I think the wearability is great, but it definitely will wear better throughout the day if you do extra powder, extra skin prep, and the setting spray. It does make a difference. I like the price point. I like the packaging. I think for what it is, I'm pleased with it. I mean, for a foundation at Sephora to be under 40, sign me up. I think a lot of it has to do with the packaging. It's not super fancy, but the formula is bomb. Overall, I think this foundation is a winner. If you want to try it out, don't commit to the full bottle. Get a sample before you do that so you can see if it'll work for you. Let me know what you guys think. I hope you enjoyed. Hopefully this was helpful. Make sure to subscribe for new videos every week, and I cannot wait to see you in my next one. Bye.